Hey guys, it's Evelyn here, back again for another vlog, and I've just finished up work for the day, and so it's a beautiful sunny day today, so I thought before I head to my boxing class that I would do a little vlog on something that I'm doing right now, which is my afternoon review. Okay, so now I have to say that this is something I used to be really religious about, right? Every afternoon at the end of the workday, I do a little review of what I did that day, what I didn't do, what needs to be done tomorrow, and actually prep for the next day. But I've really gotten out of the habit, and so it's something I want to implement back in this year, because for me, preparation is key. Okay, if I'm not prepared, if I'm not planned, if I haven't planned my day, then I pretty much go from like task to task, not really knowing what my priorities are or what's going on. So I need to really do this afternoon review. And the reason that I do it in the afternoon is because one, I still have it fresh in my mind what's happened that day, the reasons I didn't get things done and that kind of thing. And the other reason is because I'll tell you about my mornings usually, okay? So let me describe to you a typical morning at work. I get into work. Hey, I greet everyone like that, pretty much. I open the door, fling it open. Hey guys, that's how I get into work. I greet my co-workers. I see what's happened overnight or over the weekend, anything interesting, did you watch anything interesting on YouTube? That kind of deal, okay? Then what happens is we make coffee. And so I have a cool Chemex, so got the coffee, making that slow coffee. It's a real, art form. It's a real ritual that we have. Then I make myself some oats and I have some breakfast. And so then half an hour in to work time, I'm actually sitting down at my desk. And at that point, if I still don't know what I'm doing, it makes it even harder. I'm just sitting there like, where do I start? What am I supposed to be doing? That's why I do it in the afternoon, because that is the time when I'm fresh in my head, where I can sort through my priorities and I can get everything happening. Okay, so here is my process for the afternoon review, okay? Firstly, I put it in my calendar. At 4 p.m, my calendar goes off, afternoon review. And the reason that it's in my calendar is then my coworkers, if they ask me, do I have a meeting at 4 o'clock? I have a meeting because it's a meeting with myself, okay? Today it didn't work. We had an event today, and so we had a bit of a wrap-up meeting. It's just the only time when we could all do it. Hence the reason that I'm sitting here in the sun doing my afternoon review. So if I do miss that 4 to 4:30, then I know that when I get home, I have to make sure that I make this happen. The next thing I do is I look through all my tasks that are in my list for today. And I use Trello for my task management. So I go through my today list and I move any that are done into the done column. That's pretty easy, okay? And that really gives me a sense of accomplishment. Hopefully I've accomplished a few things and I've got a few things in that done column. And so what I do with that done column is I actually then go back into Slack and I then just put a quick note to my boss. Okay, here's an update. Here's what's happened today. Here's my roadblocks, that kind of thing. So at least he knows that things are progressing forward. This is kind of what I've done today. And it gives him a really good sense of what's going on and the priorities and that kind of thing, and then also myself. So the second thing I do is I look through everything that's left over, that's still on my to-do list. And the first thing I ask myself is, were there any roadblocks? So roadblocks is something like that's stopping you from getting that task done. So it might be that you don't have the right resources, that you're waiting on somebody, that kind of thing. And so I also, when I'm kind of like letting my boss know about what's happened, I also let him know about the roadblocks. So we try and not leave roadblocks more than a day. Like we really try and solve those roadblocks so we can get working on tasks quickly. Anything that doesn't have a roadblock, that just simply I didn't get time to do it or that kind of thing, just stays in the list. And I usually try and put it up the top because I don't want things to just keep rolling over. I meant to get that done. So I try and move those things to the top. The next thing I do is that I've got a list called next actions. And so this is like any actions that need to be done next on any projects to move projects forward. And so I just kind of scan through that list and I have a look at the tasks I've already got in my to-do list and I see any kind of if there's any appointments that I've got the next day. So I kind of like gauge how much time I'm going to have that day. And I move any next actions that I can do or that need to be done on that day into the list. And so that way I've got my to-do list. It's just those tasks. It's not every task in my list. It's like just these things I need to do today. Then the other thing I do is if I've had any meetings that day, I just go through the notes and I pull out any actions that I'm supposed to do and I add them to my next action list or to my today list, just depending on whether it needs to be actioned straight away or whether it can just go on the next action list. Once all of that is done, moving all of the done out of the done column, any roadblocks, any next actions that I can move into the today column, I just simply go through that today list and I just prioritize things. And so I just like put, because with Trello you can move things up and down, it's fantastic. And so I just put everything in the order that I'm going to do it. And so what that means to me is that I know that I've closed off my day, that there's nothing left over, there's nothing like I'm thinking about, so I can go home with a clear head, and that then I can, when I get in the next day, is I know exactly what I'm working on first, and I can literally just get in there and go, okay, so this morning, because I started this yesterday, so yesterday afternoon, I just prioritized everything. I put everything in my today list. And so I knew exactly the task that I was going to work on as soon as I got into the office. I made sure I got to the office about half an hour early today so I could do the whole chit chat thing. I could get my breakfast. I could do all of that and then be comfortable enough to start on time and to hit the ground running. And I can tell you, we've had an event today at work and I've been like away from my desk for quite a bit today, and yet I have ticked off a heap of things off my list today and some really important things as well. And I think that's just down to making sure, like, this is the way that I work. I work in a really planned and prepared way. If I'm planned and prepared, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling like I can accomplish anything. If I'm not planned, then I struggle the whole time. And so I think it's really important to know how you work and the ways in which enhance your work and to work that way. And so that's what I'm working on this week, is every day smashing that afternoon review. So I'm going to get back to it so that then I can get to boxing on time. So if you like this video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to my channel, because I love new subscribers and you get to be notified every time I upload a new video, which is every Sunday and every Wednesday. And if you want to just keep up with what I'm doing every day, then make sure to follow me on Facebook or on Instagram. Till next time, have a great rest of the week and I will see you on Sunday.